Welcome to the 2023 Distinguished Educators Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I am Dr. Coletta Parsley, the Director of Teacher Education in the Patton College of Education here at the university. We are honored to be here to recognize exceptional educators who have inspired, supported, and made a lasting impact on the lives of their students, families and friends of our inductees, fellow educators, members of our UPIC community, our future teachers. Thank you for being here at this momentous occasion. If you notice in the back of your program, there's a list of past Hall of Fame members. Do we have anyone with us tonight who has been inducted into our Hall of Fame? Please stand. It is an honor to have you with us this evening. So I'm going to introduce some of the people on stage who will take part in the ceremony. We have our First Lady, Dr. Kay Webb, and my colleagues who are faculty members in the Patton College of Education. We have Teresa Daugherty, Johnny Fleming, James Michael King, and David Sloan. At this time, Teresa Daugherty will give the invocation, after which Dr. Kay Webb, our First Lady, will give the opening remarks.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we gather before you today with hearts filled with gratitude and reverence as we come together to celebrate the induction of exceptional educators into the Distinguished Educators Hall of Fame. We humbly ask for your presence and guidance during this significant occasion. We thank you for the gift of knowledge, the ability to learn, and the opportunity to teach. We also pray for the students and colleagues who have been touched by the lives and teachings of these educators. May the seeds of wisdom and inspiration they have sown continue to bear fruit, and may their impact resonate far and wide, creating a ripple effect of positive change in our world. May this gathering be a moment of reflection, inspiration, and unity as we recognize the importance of education in shaping the future. In your name, we offer this prayer with hearts full of gratitude and hope. Amen.
Good evening. Well, of course, it's not going to wake up for me now. Here we go. I'm Dr. Kay Webb, and I serve as the director for the Center of Career, Vocation, and Leadership at the University of Pikeville. As Dr. Parsley mentioned, I'm also married to our president, President Burton Webb, and serve as the First Lady here at the university. Thank you, Dr. Parsley, faculty, staff, and students of the Patton College of Education for the invitation to offer some opening remarks this evening. On behalf of President Webb, because he is in Japan and could not be here with us this evening, I want to welcome each of you to this evening's celebrations. I'm honored to join you as we recognize this group of distinguished educators who sit behind me on the stage. We've all been influenced by educators. Some great educators, some good educators, and some that maybe weren't so good. But we've been around educators enough to recognize truly remarkable teachers when we encounter them. So let me share a little bit of my history with you. I could tell you about Mrs. Shortridge. She was my second grade teacher who molded my young mind and encouraged me to try harder. Or I could tell you about Mr. Wisely, my high school chemistry teacher, who taught me that math and science were not beyond my grasp of understanding. Or other numerous outstanding educators who mentored, encouraged, and molded me to be an adult who continues to pursue lifelong learning. But those are not the stories that stuck with me. You see, both of my parents are retired public education teachers. My father taught high school composition for nearly 40 years. My mother spent just over 30 years in elementary and middle school education. For them, the field of education was not a career. It was a calling. It was not just a way to pay their bills. It was a way for them to live out their faith. Perhaps it was because of this calling for them that they instilled in me and in my siblings the value of learning and an understanding of the power of knowledge. Like many on this stage tonight, the day in the classroom didn't start at 7:30 and end at 3 for Mom and Dad. They were present to greet students when they arrived in the morning to learn. They stayed long after the last bus had departed to meet with academic teams, to answer students' questions that still remained in the hallways, and to show up for athletic events and other extracurricular activities. Most evenings and weekends were spent carefully evaluating student work, providing constructive feedback, and designing engaging learning experiences. Neither of them took shortcuts or gave their students easy assignments just to get the work done. Recently, in a conversation I was having with my father as he was getting ready to attend a reunion for one of his very first classes that he taught back in the early 60s, I reflected with him about how his students perceived him because he was also one of my teachers. And because of that experience, I knew that his students saw him as tough and a hard evaluator, but they also saw him as fair and caring. My parents knew their students very well. They took the time to get to know the students' families, to know the challenges the students faced, both inside and outside the classroom. They listened, they cared, they looked for the potential in each of their students. These were the values they passed on to me as I listened to them talk about their students in our home. They taught me to value people more than any position they might have or their place in line, to value hard work and persistence more than finding the easiest or quickest path, to value excellence more than that's good enough, and above all, to show up at all times, not just when it was easy, convenient, or comfortable. As a child of public educators, I understand the dedication it takes to mold the minds of the next generation. I understand the daily sacrifice, and I understand the commitment to the calling to shape the minds of our future society. Though I don't know the individual stories of each person sitting behind me that we will recognize this evening, I can imagine that they likely share many of the qualities I witnessed in my parents: a respect for their students, an enthusiasm for knowledge, expectations of excellence of themselves and of their students, a heart for collaborative learning, and a high degree of professionalism. Educators, for embodying these and so many other qualities that I have not mentioned this evening, I want to say thank you. Because of your dedication to your students, to the field of education, and to your calling, our communities have the potential to thrive for many generations. And now, I'd like to say congratulations to each of this year's Distinguished Educator Hall of Fame inductees. It's time we now celebrate you. Thank you.
According to the American philosopher Sidney Hook, everyone who remembers his own education remembers teachers, not methods or techniques. The teacher is the heart of the educational system. The distinguished educators who are being honored have no doubt touched the lives of generations of students and have made significant contributions in the field of education. These educators were nominated by their peers, former students, community members, and this evening they are being inducted into the University of Pikeville Distinguished Educators Hall of Fame. My colleagues will introduce each inductee. After the introduction, Dr. Kay Webb will present the award, and then each inductee will be given the chance to speak if they wish. So we will begin the induction ceremony.
Brandon K. Blackburn. Brandon K. Blackburn of Pikeville is the principal of Pikeville High School. He's a graduate of then Pikeville College and went on to earn his teaching degree from Eastern Kentucky University, as well as a master's degree in career and technical education, later receiving his principal certification at Georgetown College. Prior to becoming principal, Blackburn served the Pikeville school system as a technology teacher and as a co-coordinator of technology for the entire district. He is a member of the Kentucky Association for School Administrators and the Kentucky Society for Technology Education, KISTE. His honors and awards include the Stillwell Honorary Meritorious Service Medal, the Kentucky Chamber Leadership Institute for School Principals, the Heart of a Bear Award, and the KISTE Recognition for Dedicated Service. He and his wife, Sarah, share 2 sons, Ian and Liam. Ladies and gentlemen, our distinguished educator, Brandon K. Blackburn.
Well, thank you for this honor. This is to be considered even amongst the names of people on this stage or on the wall out there is extremely humbling. And I'd like to take just a few moments really quickly, if I could, to just share my appreciation to the many people who have made this possible, and I'm going to try to summarize it the best that I can. I am blessed to have been surrounded and continue to be surrounded by a loving and supportive family that has sacrificed for me more than I could ever deserve. I am blessed to have spent nearly 15 years and counting in the midst of the greatest educators you will find and have been invaluable to me and this community. I am blessed with an incredible church family who prays for me and my family daily, and they remind me that with each opportunity we have a chance to be the light of the world. I am blessed with mentors who have served and continue to serve me, not only me alone, but the future of education, and I could not repay their insight and wisdom or support. All in all, I am thankful that God has placed me on a path to be surrounded by countless selfless people. Those who I've mentioned and so many more. People that place others before themselves each and every day, and I am thankful to be one of those others. And I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to pay that forward and to be in the position to put countless others before myself to make each student's day brighter, to support and encourage my faculty and staff, and to be a part of this community that I know loves and cherishes everything about public education and the kids that it serves every day. Just as those incredible people in my life have shown me and what I have to come and learn in my life, there is no greater sense of fulfillment than to share love, encouragement, and empower others to succeed. Thank you so much, this committee, for this honor and this opportunity again. Thank you for each of you and all that you do, and that you continually place people, all others, before yourself. And again, I am very thankful to be one of your others. Thank you so much.
Jerry Green. Jerry Green of Hazard has served as director of the Kentucky Valley Education Cooperative, one of the 8 education cooperatives in the state that serves 26 school districts in eastern Kentucky. Previously, he served as the superintendent at Pikeville Independent Schools for 18 years. He has also served as an assistant high school principal, a middle school principal, an elementary school principal, and a teacher within 5 different Kentucky school districts, spanning 30 years. Aside from the educational degrees and the central office certifications, he holds an MBA and an additional bachelor's degree in finance from the University of Kentucky. Most importantly, he is a Christian, and he shares 2 sons, Jerry and Jonah, with his wife Phyllis. Distinguished educator, Jerry Green. Jerry Green, go ahead, please. Jerry is not able to be with us this evening, but I've been told he's on the live stream, so hi, Jerry, and congratulations.
It's my honor to tell you a little bit about Tammy Jarrells of Dunlow, West Virginia. She earned her, need glasses. She earned her bachelor's degree in middle school education from Alice Floyd College and 2 master's degrees in special education and leadership studies from Marshall University. Jarrells has been a passionate educator in Wayne County, West Virginia for 26 years. Through the years, her career path has branched into different positions, including special educator, 5th grade teacher, and middle school math teacher. Another passion she's enjoyed for most of her career is coaching girls basketball and serving as athletic director. Jarrells is also a member of the Walnut Grove Church of Christ. She and her husband Dennis share a daughter, Dina, who will graduate from Youngstown University in May and begin her own teaching career. Tammy Jarrells.
I'd like to start by thanking all the directors who make this evening possible. It's beyond wonderful to be standing here, and I'm just very humbled and pleased to be honored as an educator among all these other nominees. And I'd like to congratulate the nominees as well. I also wanted to express that in this profession, it's really not about the awards for all of us. I'm sure everyone has the same sentiment. It's about making a difference in our students' lives and just giving our best every day to help them believe in themselves that they can become more than they ever thought. I want to thank the people who are always my biggest supporters, my parents. I'm very blessed to have wonderful parents who've taught my sister and I about God, hard work, dedication, love, and most of all, they've always believed in everything that we've done. They've stood by us through all of our passions and just made us understand that if we keep believing in ourselves, anything that we want is possible. So that's the kind of approach that I take in the classroom with my students. I always want to help them believe in themselves and make sure that they know that I'm with them no matter how hard it gets, which is often very difficult in a middle school math classroom. So that's kind of my philosophy. I also hope that my parents always know how much that I love them and appreciate everything that they've sacrificed for my sister and I. I want to thank my husband, my best friend, my fishing partner, my ride or die, where he's just with me through everything. Everything I do after 3 o'clock, he's beside me, so that means a lot to me, and I couldn't do everything that I do. He's hanging shelves in my classroom, building shelves. He chaperones field trips. He's my assistant coach, and I just really want him to know that I couldn't do anything without him. My daughter, as he mentioned, will be graduating with her Master's of Education this year. I'm really excited for her, and as I accept this award, I just hope that she enjoys her career as much as I enjoy mine, and then I know that she'll be happy in her profession. I want to also thank all of my coworkers and my teachers that I've worked with over the years, the staff. I've been really blessed with a lot of other hardworking people and people who really believe in our community. So I just always want them to know that I appreciate them. Thank you.
Okay, it's my privilege to introduce the next distinguished educator. And I was thinking, I know, I always go off script. I was thinking the common theme was the support system that both of us already mentioned. And it's so amazing that great teachers have great support system. And I'm just honored to hear both of you all. The next distinguished educator is Dima Ann Runyon Lidifik of Pikeville. And she's been an educator for 50 years. I love that, because that's more than me. This includes 34 years in elementary school classroom. You need a badge for that itself. That's at the Pikeville Independent School District. And for the last 16 years, she has been the teacher for the Pikeville United Methodist Church Genius Kids Preschool. Mouthful. Lidifik holds a bachelor's degree in elementary education from the University of Pikeville and a master's degree from Morehead State University. She is from a long line of educators, and she grew up knowing the expectations was for her to go to college. Lidifik said it has been both rewarding and humbling to have helped place her students on the path to fulfilling their dreams by planting seeds early in their lives that blossomed in the future. Her son TJ resides in Lexington, and she visits often. At this time, Ms. Dina Ann Lidifik.
To say that I was truly honored and humbled when I received word that I've been selected to be a part of this distinguished group is an understatement. This recognition is even more special to me given that just over 3 weeks ago I suffered a heart attack and was hospitalized for nearly a week. But thanks to the good Lord, the skilled hands of the doctors and nurses at Pikeville Medical Center, and the support of my family and friends, I am standing here today. Throughout my career, I have always tried to keep the focus on my students and on their needs, growth, and development. The thought of personal or individual recognition for my work, especially to the extent of being included in this Hall of Fame, was never something I sought or expected to receive. And I congratulate my fellow honorees for this year's class, and I'm very proud to share this occasion with each of you and with all of those deserving educators from previous years, many of whom I've had the privilege to work alongside during my time at Pikeville Elementary School. Excuse me. If I have ever doubted the power of our shared profession, it was reiterated to me in Jonathan Alter's 2021 biography of our nation's 39th president, entitled His Very Best, Jimmy Carter, A Life. Alter writes, the main reason for the quality of Plains High School was a brilliant teacher named Miss Julia Coleman, a stout, plain-faced, lame, 4'11", nearly blind spinster who did as much to shape Jimmy's early development as anyone in his life. She ended up being the only person other than the biblical prophet Micah quoted in President Carter's 1977 inaugural address, and the only school teacher in American history to be so honored. As my high school teacher, Miss Julia Coleman, used to say, we must adjust to changing times and still hold to unchanging principles. Carter said that less than a minute after being sworn in as president. In 2003, trying to explain the pressures on children in a rapidly changing world, President Carter told the theologian Martin Marty that Miss Julia's words had been the most resonating thing in my whole existence. Wow. And that, my friends, is the power of education and proof of the magic effect a good teacher can have on just one life, that in turn can empower one individual child to one day literally change the world in some form. Teachers are world changers, planters of seeds that grow in ways that no one can foresee. Let this be an admonition to all in the education profession to never doubt the value of what we have been called to do and the impact that we can have in ways that we do not know now but will manifest at some point in the future. God bless Miss Julia and all of the teachers of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Thank you.
Dr. Carla McCarty. Dr. Carla McCarty of Danbridge, Tennessee, began her education career as a high school English teacher and transitioned into the counseling role after spending 10 years in the classroom, where she worked with students for another 14 years. She now serves as the Chief Academic Officer for Paintsville Independent Schools and is also an adjunct professor at the University of the Cumberlands, where she earned her EDD in Educational Leadership. She is also a Professional Development Associate for Solution Tree Publishing. McCarty serves as the chairperson for the School Safety Committee with the Kentucky Association of School Administrators. And she is part of the Kentucky Department of Education's Commissioners Counseling Advisory Committee and the chairperson of the annual Learning Institute Planning Committee for the Kentucky Association of School Administrators. In 2019, she was named Counselor of the Year by the Kentucky School Counselors Association, and in 2020, the Kentucky Association of School Administrators inducted her into the Kentucky Women in Educational Leadership. McCarty is an active member of the Eastside Free Will Baptist Church. She and her husband, Randy, share a son, Jerry Austin. Ladies and gentlemen, our distinguished educator, Dr. Carla McCarty.
People have often said that careers in education are family traditions for many people, and it's definitely true for me. My dad is a retired educator, my mom, a retired school nurse, and many aunts and cousins are retired and practicing educators as well. So it was a natural course of life for me to decide to major in education. Everything that's happened to me since I stepped in front of a classroom in 1998 for the very first time until this moment would not have been possible without the amazing support I've had from my husband, my son, my parents, my family, and my friends. One thing I've learned in life is that the people you have in your life matters. And God has surrounded me with an amazing group of people, and I'm forever grateful. And I love each of you very much, and I thank you.
Sarah Ruth Moon, class of 2004 of Huddy, is a graduate of then Pikeville College, where she received the Rediford Dameron Excellence in Secondary Education Award. She went on to earn her master's degree in counseling from Morehead State University, where she also obtained her dual credit mathematics certification. She spent nearly 2 decades working in Pike County, investing in her students in various roles, including a math teacher, a Gear Up academic interventionist, an academic team coach, and also working with the Booth Scholars Program at her alma mater. Moon now teaches middle and high school math in the Virtual Learning Academy for Fayette County Public Schools. She's also a vacation Bible school teacher and pianist at the Coal Run Church of Christ, and she's a member of the praise team there. She was named an Appalachian Renaissance Initiative Next Gen Teacher and received an ARI Classroom Grant. She and her husband, Matt, share 2 sons, Jay and Jonah. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished educator, Sarah Ruth Moon.
Let me get my lesson plan out. Okay. I'm so thankful to be here, and I appreciate this honor so much. It is a privilege to be among the inductees of this year's UPike Distinguished Educators Hall of Fame. It's humbling to be surrounded tonight by the echoes of my educational journey that began right here at UPike with some of you. For as long as I can remember, it was my desire to teach. God made me that way. From playing school with my older sister as a child, teaching piano lessons in Sunday school as a teenager, to the halls of my high school alma mater, Pike County Central High School, I have always been a teacher. God made me that way. To me, teachers are heroes. And I've been living that dream for the past 20 years. I began my career in a classroom in Pike County, and today I'm serving as an online middle and high school teacher in the Fayette County Success Academy Virtual Learning Center. It's a very long title. I vividly remember in my time here at UPike, my technology and education course. The course was taught by Dr. April Reed. She was wonderful. This is where I first dipped my toes into the sea of possibilities that technology and education could really bring to the classroom. I started experimenting with a hybrid online teaching platform partnered with the Kentucky Virtual High School back in 2007. That was very early in my teaching career. And I really plugged in to the idea that technology was really the future of education. Since that time, I've written technology grants, facilitated flipped classrooms, shared my love of all the online formative assessment tools, and eventually moved into this fully online teaching role that now leverages technology in all sorts of ways that I never would have even imagined existed 5 years ago. So I really, really love the power of educational technology, but there is a greater power to tap into in our classrooms, and that is relationships. By making our students feel seen, heard, valued, and loved, that makes our classrooms a safe space for kids. When students see me as a human who makes errors, makes a joke about it, and then they laugh at me, laughing at myself, then they can learn to trust me as their teacher. A little laughter can go a long way in forging relationships with our students. And these relationships foster an environment where walls will come down and learning can occur. As I reflect on my journey, I'm grateful for so many distinguished colleagues who have been part of my teacher tribe. Each of them have played a pivotal role in pushing me to grow, encouraging me to pursue national board certification. My teacher tribe has really made me who I am. Without a collaborative teacher tribe that helps us grow, it would be easy to become stagnant in our careers. I've grown because of the distinguished colleagues and the distinguished supervisors and the distinguished mentors that have helped me. Behind every great educator is another great educator. Isn't that great? I would be remiss to not express my heartfelt gratitude to my family. There are many teachers in my family, including my dad, my mom, my older sister, my husband, all of which have been equally excellent in their respective teaching roles. I'm grateful to have an educator husband by my side as we continue our couch time together, where we sit and we collaborate and we discuss the latest trainings and the coolest spreadsheets we've made or any educational epiphanies of the day. In closing, I want to express my deepest thanks to the UPike community for this honor. I'm very humbled to be recognized today, but I know that a career in education is not a solo endeavor. It's a tapestry woven together by the efforts of many people. So here's to all those educators that inspire, the students that light up the classrooms, the relationships that we form, and to the limitless possibilities that technology brings to our world of education. Thank you so much.
And I have learned, glasses. It's my honor to introduce Kelly Scott, a class of '96 at what was then Pikeville College, where she earned the Rediford Dameron Excellence in Secondary Education Award, and she went on to earn 2 master's degrees from the University of the Cumberlands. She spent the last 13 years teaching school science in Pikeville Independent School District, earning her Kentucky Green and Healthy Schools Teacher of the Year from Kentucky Environmental Education Council. She volunteers her time at Pikeville Wesleyan Church. She was the organizer of the first Paint Pikeville Pink, and she has served on the fundraising board for Judy's Place for Kids. She and her husband Dean have 2 children, Billy, Jack, and I have 3 names. And Lisa, who has blessed them with a son-in-law, Stephen Davis, and granddaughter Lola. I read something a little wrong, but I will trust you to correct that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow, I'm the first in my family to go to college and to accomplish anything like this, so I feel so overwhelmed with all these people from education families. But I am so blessed and thankful for this honor. I truly work every day to build the relationships and to make a difference in all my students' lives. I've been an educator for 27 years, and I am not anywhere close to being finished. To me, teaching embodies the servant leadership of Jesus, and that is my true calling, to love and to serve others as he has loved and served us. If we want a better tomorrow, we have to start today. It is empowering to know that through my years of service of teaching, that I've made the world a little bit of a better place. So thank you very much for this honor and your time tonight.
Oh, this is great. Dr. Parsley, did you notice something on the last 2? That they both were Redford Dameron Award winners. What that is like when the student teach, we pick the best of the best and give them an award. And isn't it awesome that we know way back then that you're always going to be awesome teachers? So congratulations again for that. So it's my honor. And sometimes we recognize people, but to be recognized, and we talk about teachers that have set memories. Obviously, the next distinguished educator, had many memories that had put place in by her former students. Dottie Stepp, she was inspired to become a teacher while watching her father, James Messer, serve their community as a preacher. She was the only child of 10 siblings to graduate from college. Earning her bachelor's degree in secondary education from Marshall University, it was always Dottie's passion to become a teacher, and began her career at Crum High School, where she was a student herself, graduating in 1971. And then when the local high schools were consolidated, she stayed on at the same building, which became Crum Middle, teaching there for more than 20 years. She married Leon Stepp, and together they had a daughter, Tabitha, who recalls how her mother was always willing to help her students inside and outside the classroom. She witnessed her mom buying food, shoes, clothing, and so much more for her students, pushing them to realize that they were capable of so much more than their circumstances. Her greatest reward was seeing her students succeed, and her greatest honor was that her previous students still carry the values she taught them. Tonight, it's proud for me to introduce her daughter, Tabitha Sloan, to receive this in her mother's honor.
I hope I can get through this without crying. I know if she were here, she would be humbled, just as all the other educators here. I'm going to speak as her daughter, but also as a former student of hers. It is an extraordinary honor to be here to represent my mom and share this recognition with such amazing educators, especially since two distinguished educators here tonight are from Wayne County, West Virginia. I don't believe this is a coincidence, because Wayne County staff and educators, past and present, are some of the best in this nation. Congratulations, Tammy. Ms. Stepp was my teacher for 3 years inside the classroom setting. But as my mother, even though she's passed on, is still my teacher for and of life. All mothers are. With that being said tonight, I would also like to take a moment to honor my mother-in-law, Anita Duty. Today is her birthday, yet she sadly passed away last year. If it wasn't for her, my husband of 20 years tonight, Dustin, would not be sitting here with us to honor my mother. Again, I don't believe in coincidences, so this date was meant to be. My mother, the teacher, is the reason that I don't believe in coincidences. As a teacher, she never allowed students to say the word stuff in her classroom. In fact, she despised the word. She would say the word stuff can represent anything and would devalue what you were trying to describe. She told her students everything has a purpose. Everything, everyone, and events in your life, they all have a purpose. It's not just stuff that happens. Never devalue anything with the word stuff. I share this with you because my mother knew her purpose and her calling, just as every educator does. She was a teacher, and no matter how hard I tried to fight it, she knew it was my calling too. In 2012, I was faced with a life-changing decision. I had to choose between the career path that I thought that I wanted and a teaching career that I tried to run away from. I cautiously and hesitantly chose to be a substitute teacher. It was during a classroom observation requirement for that certification that I met a former student of my mother's, Ashley Lennox. Ashley was also a younger classmate of mine, so I knew without a doubt what a fantastic teacher she was going to be and still is. That day, we had a conversation about my mom and how she inspired Ashley to go on into the field of education. Later, she shared a letter with me that Mrs. Stepp wrote. As I read the letter, I could hear my mother's voice echoing every thought. Growth can be confusing and painful. Give yourself time. Learn to love yourself and to forgive yourself. Ashley could never have known that I needed my mother's advice that day, with the struggles that I had faced and still continue to face. The letter dated June 2nd, 2000, had a purpose for Ashley that she had to discover for herself. But that night, that very same letter gave me purpose. Ashley, my mother told you in that letter that you brought laughter on her saddest days, and I want to thank you for that. Most of all, I want to thank you, Ashley, and others like you for sharing with me how Mrs. Stepp inspired you. As her daughter, I never saw that side of her. Now, as an educator, standing before you today, I understand how teachers inspire their students. But more importantly, I also understand how students inspire their teachers. You are an inspiration, Ashley. As Mrs. Stepp's student, I hope she knows what an inspiration she was and still is to me each and every time I walk into my classroom. As her daughter, I hope to be half of the teacher that she is. Mrs. Stepp, Mom, thank you for helping this student and your daughter and so many others like me find our purpose. I love you.
I'm going to have to wipe my tears. It was beautiful. Frank Allen Wells, Jr. Frank Allen Wells, Jr. of Staffordsville earned his bachelor's degree and master's degree in education from Eastern Kentucky University. He spent his career in education serving many roles in the Johnson County School District, including chemistry and physics teacher, science department chair, technology coordinator, chief information officer, and later became the regional engineer for Northeast Kentucky with the Kentucky Education Technology System. Wells has many memberships in professional organizations, including the National Education Association, the Kentucky Education Association, former president and executive secretary of Eastern Kentucky Education Association, former president of Johnson County Education Association. He served on the Paintsville First United Methodist Church Administrative Council and is an active member of the local Kiwanis Club. Wells was inducted into the Johnson Central High School Hall of Fame, named Outstanding Teacher by Who's Who in American Teachers. Selected as a presenter as the American Chemical Society's Southeast Regional Meeting for Chemical Research at EKU, and served as the Kentucky Department of Education's representative to the Southern Region Education Board Technology Cooperative. His wife, Janie Mackenzie Wells, is a retired circuit judge. Together, they share a daughter, Dr. Catherine Wells, who is a resident physician at Ohio State University. Ladies and gentlemen, our distinguished educator, Frank Allen Wells.
Well, I appreciate that kind introduction. And I want to express my appreciation to the University of Pikeville and this program of honoring educators, which is a very important thing in our community. Educators are in a difficult situation in some cases now with politics as they are, and I won't go into that. But I'm an old educator. I'm an education family. Most people here have been. My two great-grandfathers ago, great, established Enterprise Academy at Flat Gap. And that was the only place in the area other than Prestonsburg that you could get a teaching certificate. And at that time, you took a test. You went to, and it was really the first high school out in Johnson County. And that was 1883. So then my grandmother was a teacher, my mom was a teacher. My grandfather served on the University of Kentucky Board of Regents in the 30s, the 1930s. And so we've been involved with education for many, many years. I graduated from Eastern in chemistry. I also picked up the education credentials because it was right at the end of the Vietnam War and nobody was hiring chemists. The chemical industry was down and everything after the war. So that really was a blessing because I think being an educator, being a teacher is my calling. I've loved working with students. The best time of my whole career is working with high school kids and helping them succeed in chemistry and physics, the stuff that a lot of people claim is too hard. And we tried to work with every student where they were and take them as far as we could. I also served as principal of Flat Gap Elementary, which was an experience. And after I left Johnson County Schools, I retired and went back and was hired by the Department of Education to work in technology. At that time, CARA had just passed. CARA did a lot of right things. Many of you know that. Mainly, it put a huge infusion of money along with responsibilities and requirements and took a lot of politics out of education. And it was a great thing. I worked and we connected all the schools in eastern Kentucky. I worked with 22 school districts in northeast Kentucky. And we worked with federal E-rate funds. In the first 2 years, we were able to get $100 million of federal funding for the Kentucky school districts. During the time as a KITS engineer, very enjoyable. We saw such a transition. Almost all of the schools at that time were connected with copper technology, and I know you hear about copper theft and all that. And telephone companies now have moved to fiber optics. But in several of the counties, I did project management on fiber optic projects for all the schools. So we got all of those connected. But it's got a connection to Pikeville College because when Governor Patton was governor, we did not have enough money in CARA and in the technology strand of CARA to complete the job. And Governor Patton had excess funds and he targeted them to the schools for finishing up the phase 1 of the CARA technology program. I've had a lot of good experiences. I've worked a lot with teacher organizations and glad to lobby on a federal level. Nothing like lobbying Carl D. Perkins because you didn't talk to Carl D. Perkins for 15 minutes. You probably had a couple hours on your hands. And he would tell you that you had to listen to the entire history of the Education Elementary and Secondary Act, and you need to kind of brush up on it before you went to see him. But he was a great supporter of education, and he was also in Eastern Kentucky, and of course from Heinemann. And so I've had a great career. I really appreciate this recognition, and I just to Pikeville College say thank you so much. I enjoyed teaching a little bit here at Pikeville College back when Dr. Bailey was in the science program, and I taught in the mining technology program, geology and physics, and so it's been a great career, and I just say thank you for the recognition.
As we honor our distinguished educators today, let us remember that their impact extends far beyond the school walls. They have been instrumental in shaping future generations through their time, energy, and passion. In conclusion, I want to express my deepest appreciation to each of our new inductees. Your unwavering commitment to the cause of education is an inspiration to us all. Your work is a testament to the power of knowledge, the importance of compassion, and the transformative potential of education. Thank you for your passion, your dedication, and your unwavering belief in the potential of every student. You are true heroes of education, and today we celebrate you. Congratulations to the class of 2023 Distinguished Educators. Let's give them an applause. Thank you. Thank you for being here to celebrate with us this evening. There is a reception out those doors, and we would love for you to stay and meet our distinguished educators and mingle with people who are here. We have some future teachers and our UPIC faculty. We also request that the distinguished educators meet for a group picture immediately after this event out by the wall where the plaques are. Thank you for being with us, and this concludes our program.